Hey, happy Monday, guys. Damon, how are you, dude?
Doing great, Kurt. Ready to go for the week.
All right. How was Mother's Day? Did you spoil
It
the
was
mothers in your
very
life?
good. Very
Yeah.
good.
You
Very
you were
good.
you were a good son, good husband, all that
We
stuff.
did we did the right things.
You did the right thing. Same here. I think I did all right. Scored some brownie points with mom, with my wife and aunts and all sorts of lovely people. So, all right, man, we got dude, like there's people everywhere on the stage today. I
Yeah.
just like
Busy day.
it's a busy day. So you know what? I want to kick things off. I'm going to start here. We have a couple repeat offenders, but we'll come back to because since they're seasoned veterans, we need to get the new guy on the stage here. So Donny Kemick, Donny, happy Monday, dude. How are you?
Gents, doing well. It's great to see everyone, and lady. Sorry, Holly. Happy to be here. Excited. I also treated the mothers in my life well yesterday. So yeah,
Awesome.
life is good. Yeah.
That a boy.
Nice.
Donnie's a good son. So, all right, Donnie, we're going to dive in. I have tons that I want to ask you. Hey, let's slide over. We have another rookie on the show, Damon. We've got Zach in the house. Zach Attack. Happy Monday. How are you, dude?
Happy Monday. Doing great today. Doing great.
Awesome. Good Mother's Day in your world.
It was wonderful. Great time with the
Awesome.
family.
Awesome.
That spoiled the
Awesome.
wife. God bless you.
Of
Love to
course,
hear
of
it.
course.
All right. Hey, the one, the only Holly Jobe is in the house. Holly, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fabulous. It's so
What?
nice to see you guys.
Oh, repeat offender. You need to be a better judge of character here. I think you've been on, how many times you've been on the show? Any idea?
Oh God, I'd have to say at least 6.
Oh, is it 6?
Yeah.
Woo! Wow. All right. We got to keep that coming. We got to keep you coming back. So we have
Yeah.
tons to cover today. So Holly, thank you for your energy, your passion, expertise. Let's slide over to my good friend Josh. Dude, we go, my goodness gracious. Like in dog years, it's like 100. How many? Josh Curcio from Protocol 80. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you? We even share the same haircut.
We shared the same. As a matter of fact, and I don't know if my camera can show it. I've got a Protocol 80 sticker right there. Can you guys
Nice.
see my sticker? I got that. So
Yeah.
I have Protocol 80 on the mind every single day, right on my little table there.
Nice.
So I got my little sticker. I should put it back up there. So anyway, Donnie, let's go. Let's start with you, dude. All right, Protocol 80. Who is Protocol 80? And most importantly, I want to get into the origin story. How did Protocol 80 get started?
Sure. So today we are an inbound marketing agency, and we specialize in working with manufacturers, usually tier 1, tier 2 suppliers. Some OEMs, but not typically. But way back 100 years ago, 22 to be exact, we started as a web applications business. So there was no WordPress back then. There were no DIY platforms. If you wanted a DIY platform, you wanted your marketing department to be updating the website, you needed somebody to do a custom content management system for them so they could do that. That was us back then. And as the industry kind of changed, and we got things like WordPress and Google. This was like before Google when we were kicking things off. We started to pick up people that we needed so that we could start impacting with search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising and all that. And then over time, it wasn't enough to just get eyeballs on the site, right? You need them to turn into leads and people that sales can follow up with or hopefully nurture into some new business. And so we got really strong into content marketing and lead generation online. And that started around, I'd say, 2015. And since then, it's been, pedal to the floor, trying to do every tactic we can to help manufacturers drive new leads, new business through their website. And I'm blessed and fortunate to have built an awesome team of people much smarter than myself. I'm probably the last person in this group that should be talking right now, and having a blast doing it.
Well, I'll tell you, this is awesome. I've had a front row seat watching the company grow. And before we're going to be doing a fast round robin, real little rapid fire questions here. But Donnie, before I move forward to your colleagues here, Protocol 80. So first off, what was going on in your life 22 years ago, 2002, that you took this entrepreneurial leap, and where did the name come from? Where did Protocol 80 come from?
I'll share the name with you. We have very strict rules about the people who are allowed to know the origin of Protocol 80 because it's such a complex and
Oh, wow.
hidden gem for P80. But 22 years ago, I was a sophomore in college and had a couple of like-minded guys that we were just, BSing, saying, hey, it would be kind of cool to start taking on some clients maybe. And we went to a small university, so anything we could do to get some experience and maybe put ourselves a little bit ahead when we graduated and went into the job market, we would do. So we started a business and took on some pro bono jobs so that we could at least display that we knew what we were doing, and then ultimately ended up with Zippo Manufacturing in Bradford here, which is like the largest employer in our town. We were, with the help of a professor at the university, were able to land a pretty big project there that really kickstarted Protocol 80. And then, fast forward 2 years, we're graduating. We've got, enough clients to sustain ourselves, and we're young. So he said, why the heck would we shut this down now? We're doing pretty well with this business. Let's keep growing it. And, as they say, the rest is history. So the super secret story about Protocol 80. So when we started, we were doing more technical work than marketing work. We were looked at as like the computer guys. And so we would be meeting with a small business about their website, and they'd be like, "Oh, you guys know stuff about computers. Do you think you could fix our printer while you're here?" And we're like, "You'll pay us, right?" Like, "Yeah, we'll pay you. All right, we'll do it. Need your lawn mowed? We'll do it as long as you'll pay us." So we'd fix the printer, the computer problem or whatever. And we actually started a sister business called Omnis Technologies over time that does business IT support because of that. But so when we sat down, we were like, we're a web company. We have to have a .com. Okay. And even back in 2002, all of the great names had been squatted on. Somebody had purchased, bought tons and tons of domains. So it was difficult to find something. We didn't want something associated with our names. We wanted something kind of fun. And so the super secret, sophisticated story of how Protocol 80 came together was us sitting in front of GoDaddy going, "Nope, that's not available. No, that's not available either." And so we were discussing, technical words. Protocol 80 happens to be the web port that website traffic travels over, port 80. So like SSL is 443, SMTP is 25. So it's a little geeky stuff. So we were looking at port 80, and that sounded sort of like a shipyard or something. And then we ultimately landed on Protocol 80. It was available. We could think of some kind of cool logos, and here we are today. So maybe not as fun and as exciting as it could have been, but
hey,
it's stuck and it's worked.
It's a great, and Damon, 80 was a great year. These guys weren't alive, but 80 was a good year. Was it not? It was for those of us that were around back then. So I thought maybe there might be a year thing, but I've been friends with these guys forever, and I knew the origin story. So Donnie, I was dying to have you on to catch that. So, hey, we've got Harry in the house today. Damon, happy Monday.
Hey, Harry.
So, hey, anybody out there, drop us a note. Let us know you're out there. You absolutely want to connect with this team at Protocol 80. They are just, their passion for helping manufacturers off the charts. Let's slide down to my friend Zach Ware. Zach, dude, we've been working together this year, been thoroughly enjoying. I learned something new every time. Now, you are kind of the master of getting found online. Just give us like a quick little overview. We're here to talk about SEO for manufacturers. Give us like a little overview for any manufacturers new to SEO. What's fresh in your mind in that space?
Oh man, fresh in my mind. So many new algorithm updates, so many new things coming with AI, and how the search landscape pretty soon, I think, is going to get shaken up pretty significantly across the board. It's all very exciting stuff. So I think quite a few of us know several times a year, Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yandex, DuckDuckGo, Cozy, all the big search engines, they release these broad core algorithm updates. Google just released this massive one where they are trying to crack down on what they call like spam or like unhelpful content in search results, which is great for the users. And we've seen like a 40 to 45% reduction in page 1 and 2 or top 10 to 20 positions in Google of unhelpful content. It's being replaced by more highly authoritative content. But the really cool thing is how that authoritative content is being defined. It's no longer just who has the most backlinks, who's getting a backlink from whom, but now Google, Bing, and the other big search engines, with the rise of AI content, anybody can publish content at the click of a button now that's unhelpful and just kind of spammy. And it's just unoriginal. So they're taking a bigger stance on things like social signal, social proof. So they're taking a look at who you are holistically, not just who you are in a blog. And we've seen that already start to turn the search landscape on its head. I think that's going to continue, and it's been a lot of fun to dig into and watch what happens. But that's not specific to manufacturers per se either. It's industry wide. but it's something that is going to be impacting manufacturers pretty heavily moving forward too, I believe.
Wow. Okay, Damon. How about that one there, huh? So we got like Mr.
Back.
Algorithm. We got the algorithm update guy right here, like front and center. So like anything that you need to know, we've got Zach Attack to like really kind of set the story straight. And Zach, your role, as I understand with Protocol 80, like you're kind of like the how to make the search engine happy kind of guy. Is that is that kind of your jam?
Yeah, that's it. That's it exactly. I think we need a new title for me too. I like that.
I do too. I think Donnie, we're onto something right there. So, all right. So let's, Holly, when we talk about that authoritative content, we talk about like those good eats, right? I know you and I we've done jam sessions. We talk about those good eats. Share, before we get into eats, I'd love for you to explain to folks what are good eats in the world of Google. But now, if I would be authoritative, maybe somebody out there should possibly write a book. Now, being that it was Mother's Day yesterday, does your mom have a favorite book by any chance? What's your mom's favorite book?
That's a tough one. She does love like Tuesdays with Maury, like all of those types of traditional memoirs, but she also loves Inbound Immortal, The Undying Art of Attracting Customers, which I wrote in October. I think that's what you were getting at. If not, though, I can get you her book list. And
I was absolutely getting at that book. Of course. Let's see it one more time. I have poor eyesight. We need look at that, Damon. Look at that thing. Is that just a thing of beauty or what?
Yes, it is.
All right. So, Holly, let's go there. Just share a little bit about the book and just a little bit about your perspective as you're on this world, just helping manufacturers everywhere. Just what do you got?
Yeah, so the book was born of honestly frustration in having either prospective clients or current clients come to us and having a hard time getting mixed messaging on what inbound marketing is, how you do it. It felt like a lot of things were gatekeepy or, behind a paywall. And there wasn't really anything that existed, in my opinion, that felt like it walked the walk in terms of teaching people how to actually do inbound marketing. So I set out with the goal of creating a resource that one of our clients could consume and then execute inbound marketing strategies without ever having to interact with us at all, because I felt like we were sorely missing that. I honestly was sick of attending webinars and conferences and things, and then being like, you need to write content, and being like, cool, how? Like physically, how do you do this? And feeling like there was a big need for that. So it was born of that for sure.
Awesome. Okay, share with our friends out there what are Google when we say eats for Google. What comes to mind?
So that is basically the acronym that was created to, as Zach was speaking to earlier, define what Google is looking for in content and getting away from spammy content that's long for the sake of being long, stuffed with keywords, etc. Zach and I have been having a really fun time on the SEO subreddit, just watching the world burn as people who have been doing black hat SEO tactics are running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they are not following that EAT structure. But I want to toss it over to Zach actually to explain all of the acronyms in EAT and how people are or aren't hitting that, because he's definitely the genius there.
Awesome. Let's do it, Zach.
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, EAT it now has a second E in it. EAT is expertise, experience, authority, and trustworthiness. So that second E for experience really helped, kind of like what I was saying earlier, to dictate the social proof aspect of everything. So are you more than what you present yourself to be in a blog or on a services page? Do you have the industry experience? Do you have like a long-standing experience? Do you have a long history in that specific field? Do you have experts who are out there who are speaking to their respective audiences? Can all these signals come together and show Google, Bing, and the other big search engines that you know your stuff, you deserve to rank higher? And then the other letters, EAT, are kind of like the evergreen ones, the expertise. So just, can you publish regular content? Can you show that you know what you're talking about broadly? Authority. So what does your authoritative score look like online, determined by backlinks, now by increasing number of social signals from other websites. And then how trustworthy is your content? So are people coming to your content? Are they regularly consuming it? Are they coming back? Are they engaging with different calls to action, different assets that you have on the website? Are they scrolling through many different pages? Are they interactive and consuming the content? Or instead, do they come to your site say, what the heck am I looking at, and bounce off.
Excellent. All right, just so little recap there, Damon. So we've got E8. Now you're 7 in the morning. You're are you hungry? Right? Probably a little breakfast. So eats might be a good word for you, right? So we've got experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Josh, let's get you in the game here, dude. So you and I go way back. We've tag team and worked with numerous clients together. You've seen the whole, we're using the word landscape. You've seen a lot of changes over the course of your time frame here at Protocol 80. What's hot and heavy? What's front of mind for you with clients today?
Yeah, I mean, Zach alluded to it, but AI is big. I mean, it comes up in every conversation.
Is that a thing right now? AI? Is that, I don't know.
I guess
something about it.
It's funny. It's been around for many years now. It's just that ChatGPT got the spotlight and made the news, and now that's what everyone talks about. There was actually a update or an announcement yesterday, maybe not even an official announcement, but they expect ChatGPT to be real time and potentially integrate with Siri on the Apple devices. Some of the rumors that are spreading, but lots of conversations about AI.
Yeah.
What are manufacturers embracing this, intimidated, overwhelmed? Like, what's the pulse?
I think as with anything in the manufacturing space, it'll be slow moving. They'll adopt it, but it's going to take some convincing that they need to put the effort and the focus on actually doing it. So there's the generative AI stuff that sales teams and marketing teams can use to produce assets, but then there's also all of this other AI things that might be happening in the background. A few weeks ago, a month ago, time all runs together now, I spoke at an AI conference in New York, and
nice.
Just the things that people are doing are amazing. I talked to one gentleman that has an AI software that sits on top of ERP systems that allows manufacturers to pull information out of their ERP systems just by using natural language, as opposed to trying to, programmatically get that out of their ERP system. That's big. That's something that I could see manufacturers moving on quickly, because they all want their ERP data in all of the places that they need it and want to understand it better.
Yeah, that's powerful. And Damon, we've been hearing numerous examples. We've been intentionally interviewing just AI experts, and it's truly, absolutely mind blowing. What an exciting time. And, Damon, kind of go back to, search, when search hit the scenes, internet, online, e-commerce in the mid 90s, it's like this whole new generation shift, technology shift once again, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And like Zach was saying, and others alluded to here today, is there's the proliferation, my words aren't working right, but so much more AI generated content that just kind of BS that's out there. I'm really glad to see that Google is doubling down on going, okay, let's look at the whole person, company, or whatever that's generating this to really understand if the content is worthwhile or not. Because, man, you go back a couple months, you can tell the difference, I believe, in the searches now already. But you go back a while, and some of those articles were really, really pretty poor, or blog or whatever the results you get. So it is nice to see that they're really doubling down on that and trying to get, because I think also then specifically for manufacturers, it shows that if they want to continue to rank, they need to be more holistic and more well-rounded. And I think it's good for everyone when you have to do that.
Yeah, totally agree. So I'm going to put this out to the panel. So I was going around, but you know what? I'm taking a little diversion here.
There we go.
So I'm going to go on that theme with eats. Okay. So manufacturers out there, when they're, okay, I hear you, experience, that's easy, expertise, not sure what you mean by authority and this whole, the trust score thing. What are some things, I don't know who wants to grab this one, so I'm just kind of throwing it up. What are some things that small manufacturers, that we work with, right? 20 employees or less, maybe 30, these are smaller manufacturers. What are some things that they can do besides just putting out that content? What are some experience and authoritative trust strategies? Anybody, Holly, you want to grab that first? You're smiling.
I was going to toss it to Zach first, because he's been working on some strategies with clients. And then if he doesn't cover what I've got on my mind, I'll hop in.
how selfless, right? Damon, just Holly Jobe, selfless. She just
Listen,
passes it.
Zach's the person who taught me everything I know about SEO. So everything that I say is filtered because it came from Zach. So if you talk to him here, he's like,
Awesome.
gold, man.
See, he has more of the poker face. Holly, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, who's smiling? Who wants this question? So Zach, let's come at you,
Thanks.
dude. What are some
Yeah.
strategies that we can do for our friends in manufacturing?
So thinking small manufacturers, maybe 20 employees less, up to 50 or so. Outside of just publishing content and hoping it gets seen, hoping it gets linked to, like you mentioned, social proof is going to be another huge thing. I know a lot of times some manufacturers specifically are hesitant to start getting involved in social media any more than just publishing a blog and saying, hey, check out our new article and doing nothing else. But one of the things that we're starting to see is the more engaged you can be on social media, and largely it doesn't necessarily matter what platform. Choose a platform and use it. LinkedIn, Facebook, X / Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, so be it. Find one. And Kurt, I think this is going to harken back to something you say is niche down. Find your niche in social too. Find groups, start sharing your content in there, and start engaging as a human in those different social groups as well. Answer questions, become known, get seen in those groups as an authority, because search engines are monitoring it. You are going to eventually be seen as an authority by search engines as well, if you can start by working in small social groups. And it's something that only takes minutes a day to implement too, starting to get engaged on Facebook or LinkedIn like that.
And if I could just add something really quick before Holly says things, I'm hoping that I take whatever she was going to say. And she's like, oh, no. The only thing I want to add to that was, as Zach mentioned, like engaging in conversations. One of the things that they'll look at would be like that author's reputation as well. So it doesn't have to be on behalf of the brand. The person that is creating the content and engaging on social, they're looking at that person's authority individually and their reputation as well. So build a personal brand as well as the company brand. I hope that wasn't yours, Holly, for real.
It wasn't.
That's, real quick. That's perfect, Josh. We had a branding expert on the show last week, Cher Jones, and she, I tell you, you guys connect with Cher, man. She was phenomenal. But that's exactly what she's talking about for that small manufacturer. I love that you said that. So many of the manufacturers we deal with, they're skeptical, resistant, or what's the social media thing, what's LinkedIn. But boy, let your team run with it. Holly, you've got the mic. What do you want to share?
And I think also when we think in the realm of traditional content, and Kurt, Damon, both of you have been really, really, on the pioneering path of video. Video is also a huge way to gain experience and trust, because obviously like deep fakes exist, things like that. But when someone is there talking and giving their experience, whether that be in a podcast or something Zach has been experimenting with is with some of our top performing blog posts on the PA side, what happens if we pair that with a video of someone explaining that content? What does that do in search? So starting to investigate some of those things. And then of course, one of the most important things about blogging, video content, whatever that long form, really meaty piece of valuable content is that's your springboard for sharing on social media, for sharing via email, for sharing in paid campaigns, whatever that looks like. So if you can make charts, images, graphics, videos, GIFs, snippets, podcasts, any of those things that like almost pair content together also can just help give that trust and give that authority there, because it's not just like a loose blog in the wind that was generated by some robot somewhere.
Donny, what do you have, man?
Yeah, just to add to that, it's also as a business, you also like to get as much return on one piece of content as humanly possible. So if we can take that one piece of content that took a decent amount of effort to produce and then turn it into a video, turn it into a podcast, those are not all separate subjects and new things that you have to produce. You're getting a lot of mileage out of one thought or one piece of education that you're trying to share. And I wanted to add another strategy that's worked really well for some of our clients, helps build authority, is using some third-party sites that are industry-specific sites, reaching out to them and saying, hey, could we just contribute an educational article? Typically, it includes a link back to their site as well. Has to be very educational, zero sales in it, whatsoever. Just talking about a topic that would be helpful for the industry. It's a great way to get to build authority, get some additional inbound links and things like that.
Excellent. Zach, what do you have?
Yeah, actually, Donnie, you just hit on a really good point that I wanted to mention earlier too. As you know, you're getting engaged on all these additional platforms as you're starting to create videos, podcasts, or any other derivative works. As you're getting more engaged in social and different communities, I think something that a lot of sales managers or marketing managers are going to be a little bit resistant to in some manufacturing spaces is that not everything needs to be sales focused. Not every post needs to be contact us to, get an RFQ or, reach out here for an RFP or anything else. But a lot of those posts should just be to help the community to stay front of mind and to show that you know what you're talking about. Not every post needs to tie back to a sale.
Yeah. Okay. Drop the mic, Zach Ware. So that was awesome right there. Let's. So I want to. So how about shamelessly, Holly? Thank you for bringing it up. Damon, what do we got going on Thursday by any chance? I think are you and I having a little party at the Purdue MEP this week? And what topic are we covering at the Purdue Manufacturing Extension Partnership on Thursday?
You know what? I honestly can't remember.
Live stream, dude.
You did. Yeah, we are. There we go. I knew you as soon as you said that. I'm like, my mind
it's 7 in the morning for Damon. So
yes, we are. We've gone through doing presentations done. We've been through it several times.
That's right. We're doing live stream strategies for manufacturers at the Purdue MEP, and then Holly, a month from today-ish or something like that. What topic are you and I covering at the Purdue MEP?
We're talking about AI. So we're actually going to go through some practical use cases and examples of ways to like ethically use AI, because we've spent some time here poo-pooing it a little bit, but there's definitely really effective ways to use AI that are valuable, that aren't going to get shot down by Google. So we'll chat through some of that stuff.
Yeah, nice. a lot of the AI experts that we've been bringing on. What the big takeaway for us is they're preaching the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just getting that, fast content, but, gentleman the other day was, he's helping his clients. He has, Damon, what was it? He, graduate of Brown, master's degree from Brown, total Ivy League guy, 20-person firm. And he's helping his clients go from 3 hours of content down to like 15 minutes. And they're interviewing PhDs and high level folks that just really produce excellent content, but it's all about the process. So, all right, let's slide in here. Donnie, I'm going to come back to you. You've seen a lot of changes over the 22 years, this landscape. What are you super excited about kind of coming into moving forward with your clients?
Sure. So, I mean, I hate to, jump back on the wagon of AI, but it does produce so many opportunities, or I'm excited about the opportunities to not necessarily specific with content, but more to some of the points Josh touched on earlier. I'm excited for the ways it will make salespeople's lives more efficient, marketers' lives more efficient, built within the ecosystem. I mean, we're a HubSpot shop, which so some of the AI built into HubSpot now is just going to get better and better and better, and saving everyone time and effort on the stuff that sucks. The stuff that you just don't want to spend your time doing every day is one of the things I'm most excited about. And the ability for, looking way down the road, it would be really nice if somebody lands on the Protocol AD blog or one of our manufacturing clients blog, that AI is interacting with them at a higher level to make sure that, okay, this blog post, it touches on like 60% of my question, but AI knows enough to know based on an additional question on your website that you actually need these other 2 articles also, or these other pieces of information. So moving beyond maybe the chat interfaces, moving beyond Google search results at the top that are AI generated, to the point where you are on somebody's website interacting with their AI, powered by a HubSpot, powered by a WordPress or some other piece of technology underneath it. So AI really is the theme of the day. I think at the end of the day, we're all businesses and we're still all going to need new leads. We're all going to need more sales, and we're all going to want to continue to grow. And if these AI tools end up being what we all think they're going to be, that should become much more efficient for us, but also much more competitive for everyone. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Awesome. Okay. So Zach, let's come back at you. I want to piggyback off your topic about, aligning with, trade industry magazines, maybe your local manufacturers association, chamber, that type of thing. What are some tip strategies that you have for your clients? So we've put out a great piece of content And you said the word that we absolutely love, educate, educate, educate. One of our taglines is, Holly, that we love to use, out teach the competition. How do you out teach that competition? So for a manufacturer out there that this concept, the strategy is new, can you walk them through, like, how do I reach out? How do I do? Let's go through like a little 101 of reaching out to that association, or, trying to get that piece of content out to them.
Yeah. So final after the piece of content has been published, there's, I think, a few steps that need to take place there to really see the value and to, break through. So first and foremost, we share the content on our own socials, right? Want to get this oh my gosh, I'm tripping over my words too. Want to get those preliminary eyeballs on the pieces of content, see how it's going to perform in social, see what some of the initial reactions are to it. And then sometimes it really is as simple as finding the contact, the email for the association that you're reaching out to, maybe through LinkedIn, maybe it's through a legacy contact, maybe they're already in your CRM, or maybe you have a link trade relationship with them already. Reaching out and saying, hey, there's this opportunity on your site that I've identified, or I have this piece of content that's a really good fit, or I believe I can create a piece of content that answers this question that your site needs. Here's what I'm proposing. What do you think? It is sometimes really simple as just that introductory email. And I mean, as a publisher ourselves, we receive emails like that constantly too, from people reaching out saying, hey, I have content that I think would work really well on your site. I've identified a gap in your content. I've identified a question that your audience wants to know. Here's how I can help solve for that.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Absolutely love it. So, all right, Holly, let's slide over to you, my friend. You and I are we're kindred spirits. One thing that we love to talk about is that ideal customer avatar. We have a little term that we use, those soulmates. Okay. So like everything that we're talking, I personally feel always stems back to that soulmate. When we say soulmate, like who has a problem today that manufacturer has a solution that it'd be a great fit. So whether it's AI, whether it's HubSpot, inbound, Zach's talking about, Good Eats, just give us a little overview of like, why is that buyer persona so important? And how do you at Protocol 80, how do you guys help clients identify that soulmate?
Yeah. So when we first take on a client, we immediately dive into that persona research. And there's a lot that we do that I think could be taken by even just a solo marketer in a manufacturing company, small marketing team, to identify that. And one of the first places we start is by talking to the company's existing soulmate customers and asking them questions about whether or not they interact with the website, and if not, why would they? And one of the other things we ask is, if God forbid, client was to go out of business, what would you type into Google to try and find a different person? Or if you're not going to Google, what magazines are you reading? So talking to those existing soulmate customers and seeing what do they have in common? What are those common threads to help us kind of cast that net into other soulmate customers? And then of course, doing research into competitors' websites, seeing all of those types of things, where the commonalities are there. And the importance of doing that, we've found, is because sometimes when we're talking to the engineers or the subject matter experts on our client side, they'll refer to a technology or a piece of equipment as one thing. Maybe it's a slang word. Maybe it's just they've always known it as this. And then when we start interviewing those soulmates, when we start researching, we realize they're calling it something completely different. So making sure that our content is meeting those soulmates where they're at, is presenting in search the way that they're actually searching, is really important, as well as when you're producing that content, making sure that you're talking to them in a way that is appealing to them. So does the persona enjoy some humor? Do they like a good metallurgy pun? Making sure that we include that type of stuff in there to really, really speak to them so it feels personal, even if it's something that we're sort of mass marketing, as it were.
Right. Awesome. All right, Josh, let's come over to you, dude. So we're talking about Good Eats. We're talking about that buyer persona, that soulmate. Let's talk about social for a little bit. And maybe I can even put this out to the panel. So if somebody wants to grab it, Zach threw out like, X, or, formerly known as Twitter, right? Facebook, what have you. Zach, what are you seeing as far as social? Where should our manufacturers be hanging out from that social standpoint?
Wherever you can identify your target audiences. There's no one answer, I don't think. I think a lot of times people fall into the trap of thinking Facebook is solely B2C, LinkedIn is solely B2B. Twitter and X are for just weekend browsing and really nothing else. But the truth is, at the end of the day, it's like B to H marketing, business to human. Your audience is likely on X. They're likely on LinkedIn. They're likely on Facebook.
Right.
So if that's where your audience is, that's where you need to be too.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's no like one answer to that.
There's no. Josh, what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I guess I would agree with Zach. There's not one answer. Like the easy response would be LinkedIn, just because it's B2B. But truthfully, as Zach mentioned, like your audience, they're probably spending time on TikTok. And if they come across something interesting that you can share and provide, they may engage and see you that way. And then the other thing, the other opportunity there is that they're seeing you from multiple channels. They're not just seeing you from one channel. They're not just getting your email and potentially ignoring it. They're getting your email. They're seeing your website. They're seeing you on TikTok. They're seeing you on LinkedIn. You know, it's more channels and more forms of communication as to where they can engage.
Yeah, I love that. Damon, what do you have?
Yeah, and I think just to add is Zach said it very well. It's B to H, and they want to see the human behind who they're doing business with, and that's getting more important, I think, every day because of the social aspects of social media and how we do see more of people's lives, whether it's the most famous people in the world or our neighbor down the street, you know. And that's where I think the B to H aspect of this really does mean that if you can be more omni-channel, it's just that much better for you.
Right. Absolutely. And that's, that why Damon and I are so bullish on live stream. It really, tagline we use it. It AI proofs your business, right? It's authentic. It's putting yourself out there and just being who you are. And not only finding those soulmates, also, like, hey, I'm, though my mom thinks I'm for everybody, Holly, I'm just not. So it kind of weeds out, those misalignments, if we will. Why go on a first date if it's not going to happen? So let's start winding down. I know you guys are super busy helping manufacturers everywhere, and we got the whole team here. So we'll start winding down. I want to talk about video. And a big thing is, Josh, you just mentioned it, TikTok, right? The world has gone to that 60 seconds or less. We have no attention span, so it's got to be the short videos. Damon, we've discovered even on our live show, we have these wonderful in-depth conversations. Not everybody has time, other than my mom, has time to listen to these entire episodes, Holly. So, we've started pulling out little clips, and boy, we get tons of great views. We're seeing that with our clients, getting great views on YouTube Shorts. I'll put it out to the whole panel, whoever wants to grab this one. What are you guys seeing, strategy, alignment with your clients? What are you seeing from a video standpoint and from the short videos? Who wants it?
I can take it, or Donny can take it.
I was just going to jump in and say, we've seen a real uptick with the introduction of more video into our strategies and the request from clients to do more video, not only because it helps to dominate search, as we already touched on, but also just getting that authentic right from the client's mouth. You're meeting them, whether they're talking to you directly or not, you're meeting them and understanding them in video. So we are doing more and more of it and seeing it be very impactful for our clients. Holly, I'll kick it over to you.
I was just going to say, like, 100% with that. And also video can be very resource and time intensive. So don't make it more difficult on yourself by trying to guess what the audience might want, trying to guess where you should be. Like we talked about earlier, ask your existing customers, what would they want to watch from you? And also pair that with existing high performing content. So if you have a blog that's doing really well and getting a lot of interaction, like, what are the most important parts? Turn that into a video, add some visuals there, put that out across different channels and see what works. And there's a lot of really cool AI powered tools. I know HubSpot just released, as a part of their content hub, kind of like a remixer tool that turns your content into different forms of content. So just make sure you're not plunging into video, buying very nice cameras, very nice microphones, spending all of these hours editing them beautifully to take shots in the dark. Use the existing data that you have and pair that existing successful thing, with your video. Not saying you shouldn't try TikTok, just saying it might make sense to pair some of those videos with your existing channels first, and then expanding from there.
Yeah. And and I apologize, man. Harry dropped a comment here and I didn't pull it. Many times if you do a Google search, the first 4 searches are short form videos. How can you better leverage? So Harry, here we are, we're answering that question. And Damon, we found that exactly. We've been more intentional with our show and getting our keywords into the
Yeah.
titles. And we've got some very competitive key terms that like, hey, there's the 2 old guys going at it, video. So, we're trying to practice what we preach with live stream. Josh, what are you seeing with your clients from a video standpoint?
Yeah, I think they both kind of alluded to the fact that video is nice because it can be repurposed as well. And you mentioned the same thing, Kurt, is you might have this long form video, but that can also be a blog post. It can be tied to just so many other things. It could be turned into just an audio podcast. It doesn't just have to be that one channel. So you're doing this one thing that's resource intensive, but you're allowing yourself to spread that further. So it's not necessarily as much of an investment and a potential for higher return.
Yeah, I love that. And as a matter of fact, a client of ours they gave us a tool. They're like, hey, check out this tool that I found. It's a little AI video tool. We've started using it. It's called Minvo, Minvo. And we're now, it's pulling out little clips. It adds the subtitles to it. And it's kind of fun. And, take advantage of those videos. Zach, anything that you want to add from a video standpoint?
Yeah. So one thing that I'm starting to see and starting to think about is the short-form videos capturing what used to be those knowledge panels or those like position zeros that we'd see. Is Google's exceptional now at being able to crawl through a video that's posted on YouTube or whatever else and understand what's being discussed there. There's 1,000 different AI tools that can do that. Of course, Google can do it too, and that's how it's pulling some of those video results into search. So think of them almost like you're creating that short form video for that position zero, for that featured snippet position. What's the question you want to answer? How quickly and concisely can you answer that question in a quickly recorded video? And keep it as simple as that.
Holly, do you have something to add?
I was just going to say with all of this, another really important thing is not to let perfect get in the way of good. All of us, I think, are just on computers right now. Our videos look perfectly fine. Like Zach said, like just pop up, like answer something quick and post it. Like your videos are doing nothing if the scripts for them are still in your Google Drive, if the camera is still in your cart on Amazon. You can certainly scale up to that once your reach is greater, once you know that you're generating leads there. But at the end of the day, it is important to just start. Don't get too caught up in like what the best in the industry is using, dual camera setups, studio lights. Like the most important thing is that you're providing helpful content to those soulmates, like Zach said. So getting that helpful content out there quickly, it shouldn't be necessarily incredibly time consuming to get those super short form videos out there.
Yeah, love it. For our sports fans, Damon, just get on the field, right? What do you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, it is. And that's what I love about video today. It's like the old days of produced video. Yes, there's a time and place for some, in some of your product base or something, there's some video, but the B to H, again, if you can explain something that I could understand in 60 seconds, that's a great short form video for people. I mean, you can let your personality and the B to H shine through and really connect with the people. And as Kurt said earlier, make sure that the people that you don't want to be together with, they're not coming to the party. That's right. It's just, and as you said, Holly and Zach and everyone, it's like, you don't have to invest thousands and thousands of dollars into a studio and super cameras and, hundreds of hours in editing. Just get on and get started.
Just get started. I'm being selfish, Damon. I have another question. So Josh, you're going to know this one. So Josh and I were working very closely a number of years ago, and I've watched Protocol 80. I always bring this up. What do you guys had 2 or 3 employees when I first started working with you guys? And now they're 20 strong or so. And I've go down there. They have this wonderful, amazing facility. And Holly, maybe when you come back on the show next month, I might come down. Maybe we'll do it together in person. It's so much more fun and energy. But Josh, let's go here. If I have this correctly, 2015-ish, you and I were running all over, working with manufacturers, and you guys made a really nice pivot. And we'll wind down on this. how you use the word niche. And I think Zach even said, I was shamelessly use that word, that line, niche down till it hurts. You guys took a big pivot and went all in on inbound marketing. I'd like to hit that for two reasons. Number one, just to talk, give us a 101, what that did for you. But number two, from a marketing standpoint, why is it so important for our manufacturers to stay in their lane? That sometimes we all try to be a little bit of everything to everybody, and we're jack of all trades, master of none. But I really love how I've watched you guys grow as a company when you niched. Share a little bit about that and why it's so important for our other friends out there to stay in their lane and niche down.
Yeah, prior to making that shift, Donny and I dealt with, we need content. We need content. We need this for your website. And then they'd launch a website. They put so much effort into doing that. And then it would essentially just sit there, not really do anything. Despite telling everyone you need to continue to produce and add informational content, but it just never happened. Right. And that was a lot of times because in the manufacturing space, people are pulled in so many different directions. Mm-hmm. You don't usually just wear one hat. You're wearing many hats. So at that time we said, well, if they can't do it and they're not going to do it, we'll do it for them. And we're going to start hiring for those skill sets and produce the content, whether it be website content, article-based content, video, doesn't matter. We'll produce it for them. So since that time, we've been able to do that and make it be something that is more impactful for them, because it's not this big website project that they never think about again. Now it's a change of business, essentially. We're using this to drive leads and be part of our sales pipeline and drive, real revenue for our business. And being able to do that was impactful for them more so than the website project. And it's been helpful for us. As you mentioned, we had 3 people. Being able to move to a more retainer model and have partners instead of just customers has allowed us to grow the team and hire more people that can be really great at producing marketing for manufacturing companies that are very technical and complex. Donny, anything to add to that I might have missed way back then?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just sort of that evolution from we need a website. Okay, now we need a website that people see. Now we need a website that people see and hopefully raise their hand and become leads. And the best way to do that, as Holly's book would tell you, works 10 out of 10 times if you give it the right investment and effort, is to educate. And so, if you look, if we were to tour our office, which I'm not at right now, but if we were to tour our office, you'd see the vast majority of the seats are filled with content writers, are filled with people brainstorming, educational content, not sales content, but educational content that's going to help manufacturers, help that engineer find you, or help just answer their question so they remember you. So yeah, Josh, I think you explained it really well. And it's been really valuable for us to be so focused in helping manufacturers and really just kind of understanding what makes them tick.
I can't understate, from my perspective, Josh, I can't tell you what a gutsy move I thought that was and how much I admire what you guys were doing. So Damon, I had this little thing. It was called the $1 Million E-commerce Club. And I had like a bunch of manufacturers in it. And we, long story short, we brought in Protocol 80. They were working with a number of manufacturers. They still have some of those clients. This was like 8-9 years ago. They're still working with some of these clients today.
Awesome.
I've had more clients since then. They've been on our show. We were at Weber Nap. I think Holly, when was that? Back in September. We were on site together on the live show. And so, again, I've had a front row seat. It's like Uncle Kurt watching these guys just grow this company. And I salute you guys. I commend you. Donny, my last question for you, I think, how you've built such an amazing team. Again, gone from 3 people to all these wonderful folks here. You have, just awesome talent. Don't know how you've pulled this off. What's your secret, dude?
It's a lot of 2 steps forward, maybe 5 steps back sometimes, and then 7 steps forward. And it's certainly not just me. Holly, Josh, Zach, the folks that have been with P80 for quite a while. We've come a long, long ways, and I'm sure Zach, looking back to when he was onboarded, oh my goodness, versus what we do for people who come on now. Zach was sort of like, here's your computer and take this training, you'll be good.
Good luck with
that.
Yeah.
You'll be good. And now we have, very sophisticated onboarding and very sophisticated offboarding earlier to say, nope, this is not a fit, sooner rather than later. And I think, Kurt, you and I have talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
I think we're both similar in that, but are we serving them right? Like, are we doing everything we can to make them successful? And sometimes, that bites you in the butt because you're waiting too long to say, no, this is not the right, there's a better position for them somewhere else and it's not on our team, So I've, it's a long way of answering your question to say we've been through a lot of trial and error. We've been through a lot of process improvement to try and make sure that we're hiring for our core values only and then teaching skills if we have to. And we've just been super fortunate to come across a great group of people that really gel and work great together.
Awesome. Great. Drop the mic, Donnie. So I'll tell you, you guys are a true, when you're just doing something on a daily basis, it's Monday. It's Monday. I'm just going to work, but I'm telling you as an outsider, it's extremely inspiring. I admire what you guys are doing. It's an honor and privilege for me to be, part of the team and just love what's going on here. All right, let's wrap up. Donnie, words of wisdom, parting thoughts that you want to share with friends out there today on how they can keep crushing it for SEO for manufacturers.
Think helping, don't think sales. So the more you can be helping through content, through even in your sales process, be the helper, be the consultant versus here's your RFP or here's your quote, sign, help as much as you can and the sales will follow.
Know your soulmate, help your soulmate. You do those two things, man, you're going to be successful, right, Damon? It's honestly that simple. Zach, Attack, parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you'd like to share for SEO for manufacturers.
Just get started. Your first blog is likely not going to be the greatest. Your 100th blog, you can't get there without your first. You can't get your 1 millionth website visitor without the first one. Just get started.
Just get started.
Awesome.
I listened to a podcast with the founder of Twitter today or over the weekend. Does anybody remember the first day of Twitter? No, but man, look where that went. So Holly, words of wisdom, parting thoughts for folks, SEO for manufacturers.
Things are changing really rapidly with AI and with SEO right now. And I would say it's really time to put back on the thinking caps, to get out your pencil and paper and, start learning as much as you can. So consuming webinars from different resources, consuming the latest from SEOs who know what they're doing. It's more important now than ever to not sit on your haunches and, do it the old way, because that's how you've always done it. It's time to really start learning and changing your habits and thinking about what's coming next and what's, coming down the pipeline, especially with AI. And that shouldn't be scary. That should be exciting. There's nothing fun about doing the same thing over and over again. And Google's given us this wonderful opportunity to, as marketers, change and be creative and think about new ways to do things. So you just got to take the bull by the horns. And like Zach said, get started.
Awesome.
And Holly, one more time, can we see your mom's favorite book? I didn't get a good look at that. There it is. Yeah. There it is. So go on Amazon and connect with Holly, connect with all four of these amazing, wonderful human beings on LinkedIn. Grab Holly's book. Her mom will thank you. We'll thank you. We'll thank us because it's such a wonderful book. Josh Curcio, my friend, parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share on this wonderful Monday post Mother's Day.
Yeah, being in a sales role, I still hear people say that their customers don't shop this way. They don't go online and research. It's so not true. Every industry, every person everywhere uses some form of online research when making a buying decision. So no matter how complex and how technical, at some point, they're doing some research online. So don't let that get in the way of considering an inbound approach.
Love it. All right, drop the mic on everything. Damon Postolka, my friend, any takeaways? What was the highlight of the whole 50 minutes was for me? What were your highlights?
All of it, actually. There's so much in here. I just go back and listen to it because they're all the way from, talking about talking about the video and how important that is, pairing content with blogs or other popular articles. There's so much in here. I think if you're a manufacturer, you should go back to the beginning, start over, listen to it. And if so, you think it'll help, reach out to Protocol 80. I mean, you guys know what you're doing and do it well. So, Harry
says these words of wisdom are all mic drops. Thank you, everyone. Great stuff. Harry, thank you, my friend. We appreciate it.
Harry, thanks.
All right, guys, we will close out. Please connect with our friends here at Protocol 80 on LinkedIn. Check out their website. Tons of amazing content that they have, and they are here to help you move the needle. Damon, Thursday, dude. We'll be ready and raring to go. Purdue MEP. We're going to be teaching manufacturers how it's called Go Live and Thrive, right?
Yep.
So we're going to be teaching them how to go live stream. We've got another great guest coming up on the show for Friday. Holly, you're going to be back with us live next month. You and I are going to be at the Purdue MEP next month. So all sorts of exciting things going on here. Guys, have a great rest of your week. And like we always love to say, just go out, be someone's inspiration, just like these wonderful people. How about a big round of applause for Protocol 80 today? So thank you, guys. God bless you. And hang out with us for 1 second. And guys, have a great rest of your week. We'll see you soon.